So I'm here with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources Green Tier program. We're a voluntary, non-regulatory program. We work with businesses and municipalities, and we exist to help businesses and municipalities and now counties to go further and faster towards their sustainability goals through resource sharing, best management practices, and driving innovative, sustainable strategies. There are a couple facets of the program. There's Tier 1 businesses, Tier 2 businesses, and charters. Tier 1 businesses, that's the bulk of the Green Tier program. That consists of about 97 businesses across the state that agree to do superior environmental performance and conduct baselines and have annual reports and get third-party audited for environmental compliance. Tier 2 contracts are similar businesses. However, they have a little more regulatory flexibility in exchange for agreeing to set a little higher bar. And then charters, and that's kind of what I'm here to talk about today. Charters are unique in U.S. environmental law. It is a tool to bring entities together, to bring municipalities together, counties together, and NGO resources, as we've seen with the Legacy Communities Charter. This is actually a picture from the original signing around 2010 of the Green Tier Legacy Communities Charter. You can see Mayor Larry McDonald from Bayfield, longtime member. These are some of the original communities who signed on. We've grown a lot in the last couple of years. Here we are just today. We also have Stevens Point, not mentioned. We needed to update this. My graphic design guy was on vacation. But we've experienced a good amount of growth. So now the work we do affects over 500,000 Wisconsinites across the state. We work with, again, counties and communities, and these are our charter partners. We're very lucky to have the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, the Wisconsin Counties Association, WEC, Wisconsin Environmental Conservation Corporation, 1,000 Friends of Wisconsin, and COWS, the Center on Wisconsin Strategy, along with the DNR, all donating their time and resources to help communities and counties kind of move forward, pursue grants, and we serve as the pivot between counties and communities to engage upon sustainable topics and areas of opportunity that they see they have obstacles with, they see an opportunity with, or they've been talking with other local communities, other counties. We kind of serve as a swivel point between their ideas, their interests, their needs, and we say, how can we help you get this done or work or share resources to get it done? A little bit about governance of our group. So each member of the network has an equal vote. So Bayfield, Egg Harbor has as much say in the direction as an Eau Claire, as a La Crosse, as our bigger participants. We host quarterly member meetings all across the state where hosting responsibilities are split up so that every community, every county has an opportunity to show off their community, have others come in. And we found that these member meetings really provide benefit to the network. We hear a lot of times municipal staff say we really enjoy going to these. These are great networking opportunities for us. This is a great, learning opportunity, and then the communities that host it really like to have people come in, share what they've been working on. So we have 4 of those, and we tie them in remotely as well, so you do not need to attend via person, but we find a lot of members really enjoying it, the most value out of doing that. We're kind of restructuring where we'll have 1 grand meeting a year, where we'll have really a push to get everybody there and do a little bigger than others. Other things on governance. There are some requirements for the program. It is a free program. However, we ask that communities must adopt a resolution with their Common Council stating their intent to join the network, to join the Green Tier Legacy Communities and commit to doing superior environmental performance. We also ask that they conduct an annual report, which we have templates for. We also have templates for the resolution. And then we ask that they conduct a sustainability score sheet baseline, where we have a list of kind of ever-evolving best management practices in different areas of sustainability, land use, energy, waste, water, et cetera. And we're constantly working on that with different work groups. That list, which I'll show in a little bit, also kind of dictates the different work group areas of engagement, whether it be water, whether it be energy, whether it be health and all policies. And then another requirement, so attendance. We ask that you attend the quarterly meetings or you call in. We really like to stress too that a municipality, when they join legacy communities, the workload does not fall on the municipal staff. If you have engaged citizens like yourself, if you have committees, if you have somebody who's just really a fire soul in the community, they can pick up the mantle, they can attend. We have different themed quarterly member meetings as well, so if there's something that we're working on, say like with IT, we just recently put in a new members only access site. We asked, maybe your web coordinator or whoever would like to attend this meeting. So we really try to stress that it's a community-wide membership, not just the municipal or county staff. I'm trying to think other government things. So we do have an executive committee as well that meets once a month. Membership on the executive committee is comprised of our charter partners, and then we also have community and county representatives as well. We'll be voting on terms for that coming up as well, so you can have possibly your community on the executive committee as well. And again, that meets monthly, and that is a really great group. We're very lucky, again, as I stressed, to have the resources of our NGO charter partners, and they all do a really good job of attending that and getting back to us and driving agenda development and areas of engagement with the group. So as I mentioned earlier, here's our sustainable strategies score sheet. This is the first baseline a community will do when they come into the program after you've adopted your resolution. We can assist with your first stab at this. Like I mentioned again, it's a best management list, and you rank yourself just to get a baseline down so you can then see continued growth through your years of involvement in the program. Or you can see something and say, we're not doing this, or we're doing a great job in this, or hey, maybe next year we try to tick this off from 0 to 2, or such and so forth. But this kind of guides also, as I said, our direction and our areas of engagement. Like I mentioned earlier, a requirement is communities submit their annual reports. We have websites where we have all these repositories for people to view. Communities really enjoy sharing these annual reports, and at members meetings, we always ask that either the host community or someone else who's just on the docket share their annual report and give us an opportunity to report out on what they've been up to. We have a website, as I mentioned earlier as well, and a recent project we've been doing is we created a free members-only access site for our legacy communities to access their account, to deposit annual reports, pictures, paragraphs, updates from community events. We also house our agenda meeting minutes here, any documents of best management practices, a contact list of every participant across the state. We created this in response to communities saying, hey, it'd be nice if we had like almost a chat portal type situation where we could exchange best management practices or ideas, or hey, are you working on permeable pavement in Bayside? Because we're looking at this in Sheboygan. Do you have any recommendations? So it stemmed from that. It actually stemmed from an email exchange where we said, new member Bayside's coming in. They have a question about permeable pavement. Everybody from across the state was shooting them answers and things that they struggled with. And we said, we need to create an online space for this, and that's what this is. Angela and Ryan sat through a walkthrough of it at our last members meeting. So we're still getting the nuts and bolts about it, but we're pretty pleased with it. And again, it's something that came as a directive of our members' engagement. Another thing we're working on as a directive of member engagement is the Energy Task Force. Our Green Tier Legacy Community Energy Task Force is a two-pronged attack, if you will. We work on municipal energy benchmarking. We work hand in hand with the Office of Energy and Innovation. They have agreed to sign on the work of two great energy engineers, Vanessa Durant and Megan Levy, and then a third-party contractor, Craig Weiss. And we've helped communities implement Energy Star Portfolio Manager to track their municipal facilities. Some communities have been doing this or have various ways of tracking their facilities. Others hadn't been doing it at all. There's a great return on investment for energy benchmarking, obviously. So this is something that's a free service we provide just through leveraging our network, and that municipalities have really come to benefit from. Some communities, like I said, are really finely tuned in with their energy benchmarking, and some aren't. And we have had Vanessa set up accounts for people and run the account and manage it for them, starting with something like a public works garage, maybe a library, and then build it up for years. And and see where you go. But then we have communities like Eau Claire who have been doing great energy benchmarking for years, and now they're working with Craig Weiss to kind of look at a deeper dive. So really meeting our parties all where they're at and making sure that it's a benefit to them. The other part of the energy task force is PACE, Property Assessed Clean Energy. The work of the Wisconsin Counties Association and WEC, John Hokemer and Jason Stringer from Wisconsin Counties Association and WEC have been traveling across counties. There are now 20 counties in the PACE Commission. We formed the Wisconsin PACE Commission, and it's a gap financing mechanism for clean energy infrastructure projects, and it's really exciting. There have only really been projects done in Milwaukee in the state right now. There's a lot of coordination that needs to be done between counties and communities to have this. We've adopted a joint powers authority to help streamline that process. Again, just serving as a swivel point between the communities and the counties to hopefully get sustainable infrastructure projects done. We're getting very close to our first couple of projects. There's a hotel in Fond du Lac that we're excited about, and a couple other projects across the state. But now the PACE Commission has 20 counties in, and if I know John Hokemer with the Counties Association, he'll have all 72. So this is something we're very excited about. Please check out the website. It's just pacewe.org.
And you should add the Door County.
Yep. Yes, I have. Thank you very much. Yeah, Door County has just joined. I had that. Welcome. Another project we're very proud of is our Legacy Community Alliance for Health. We've recently been awarded a 5-year, $100 million grant from WPP, the Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health, to look at health in all policies approach to community health and thinking upstream and incorporating health in all policy. So we're in the first year of this grant. We've just been awarded this. It's not too late to get involved. We have our staff from COWS, Katya Sabatos, and 1,000 Friends are the healthy community leads on this project, along with a lot of other players involved. There's a whole list. But this grant is something we're very excited about, and something moving forward we think we'll see a lot more of, being able to leverage the network for fundability. When the Door County Soil and Invasives woman was speaking, federal funding, state funding, that's another benefit of Legacy Community membership, which I actually forgot to mention, but you do get additional grant point considerations for several DNR grants, along with Office of Energy Innovation grants. And so we can't guarantee you will get these grants, but it could be the tiebreaker between you and another community, and our track record has been very good lately with the METAP, Office of Energy Innovation grants for LED retrofits, sustainable energy projects, and then we also have additional grant point considerations with urban non-point source grants and urban forestry grants. And we've also done things like writing letters of recommendation in the past, helping communities with their grants, and then working directly with the folks at the Office of Energy Innovation to get a heads up and to let communities know well in advance. On the website I also showed we have a funding calendar as well that we continually update and send out blasts. So our fundability is something that we're very excited about and something that we really see getting benefits for the members, because again, you're working now, you're applying for grants and you have the full backing of 20 plus other communities and counties across the state. You have local, state, and NGO partners all signed in. And so we found fundability is something that really helps attract. We're excited for this grant, a 5-year grant, something that's very nice because you have time to implement it. So right now, again, we're in the planning phase. We're meeting with communities and seeing what are some areas of health and all policy that you would like to work on in your community. A lot of affordable housing, things of that nature. Another free thing we do is the Sustainable Strategies webinar series, and they're webinars for Wisconsin municipal professionals. The list of speakers varies and is directed from our executive committee and our members. We put a shout out every year for loading up the docket of speakers, and it's a really great webinar series. It's the third Thursday in every month. Hope you can tune in July 20th here. We will have Allison Burgum from What Works for Health presenting on health and addressing local priorities, kind of as a follow-up to the work we've been doing through the WPP grant. We also have all the webinars recorded and saved at the link there. And so if you want to check it out, we find webinars really gain value in that you don't have to tune in right away, but now you have it recorded, you can watch it on your own time. So it's something that we found our members enjoy, and oftentimes we have case studies from communities, so if you want to share something, broadcast it out to the wider audience, we would love to facilitate that as well.
What time are those?
They are from noon to 1, the lunch hour on the third Thursday of every month, and we do one monthly. So I can send you July 20th, so we're looking forward to it.
How do people get signed up and involved in that link?
So there's a registration link on the website. We send out promotions to our legacy community members. So, you know, once you're in legacy communities, you'll get a blast every month from a constant contact email with presenter information, link to register, and then you can just forward it along to interested parties or request to subscribe, so it'll come directly to your email. And then you can watch them after they've been recorded too, so you don't have to watch it from noon to 1 on Thursday, but it's fun to watch the first take. Feel free to check it out. Kind of swiveling off of what we do, our governance, our projects to communities and their connections with their businesses. That's another big aspect of this charter. Unprovoked, city planner from Eau Claire, Ned Noel, sent me this and said, hey, we just had an award show for our sustainable players in our community, awarding, you know, giving out awards for energy, for environmental education, stewardship, things of that nature, bringing in the business community, bringing in, you know, K through 12 schools, and really building a culture of sustainability in their community. So that's something we see a lot of. Here's actually a picture of the award winners. And this is from Eau Claire's Committee on Sustainability. These plaques also were made from emerald ash trees from another green tier, another green tier charter, Wisconsin Urban Wood, who we work very closely with. Wisconsin Urban Wood is a 501c3 nonprofit and just a great organization. They work with tree crews across the state helping address emerald ash. In response to the blight that is emerald ash borer and as it's sweeping across the state, we're finding more and more trees in landfills, more and more trees in chippers now. So Wisconsin Urban Wood works with kilns, woodworkers across the state, artisan craftsmen woodworkers across the state who will work directly with your tree crew, with your public works, to identify trees that have emerald ash or need to be taken down, or areas that you think you'll need to take down, and they can come in and directly remove the sawn down trees and divert it from the landfill, from the chipper, help lessening the workload on your public works, and then also two, creating high quality wood products with it across the state. I've been lucky enough to be their single point of contact and work with this organization. It is very cool to see what they're doing. They came and presented at our lacrosse members meeting to the larger audience, and the feedback was great, and they're now working with a lot of those municipalities. And again, it's a free service. Here's an example of what they have done with some diverted emerald ash from otherwise a landfill or chippers. Bruce City, Milwaukee. Here's the UWM's Children's Hospital. There's also a Festival Foods, just a couple blocks from my house in Madison, that they have a display on. Here's a brick project from Bayfield, our smallest legacy community. They had a huge brick restoration project. These are original bricks from 1926, and they leveraged the network to work with communities in their area to gather bricks that otherwise were going into landfill and do a beautiful restoration project. Bayfield is just a great example of a small community that's really ran with their legacy community ownership. They've been one of our earliest members, original signator of the charter, and they do great things. They have a micro grant fund where every year they open it out to the public and to businesses, grants as small as $200 up to $1,000. One that I really like is a neighborhood applied for an electric lawnmower, and they all use the electric lawnmower, reducing their carbon footprint. Just little things like that that we really like to brag about and try to foster and create spaces for dialogues about what people are doing and what you could be doing. Here's another example, not a legacy community, but in Rhinelander there's a factory that had a chemical substitution, and they no longer needed this chemical that they had been using in their process. They let their local and county fire department know. It saved the local and county fire department thousands of dollars because they no longer needed an expensive fire suppression material that they had previously had to have. So just connecting businesses to communities, to counties, to the state. Again, being a facilitator and a swivel point. Oh, wrong way. So thank you. I don't want to take up too much time. Just an honor to be here. To see the resources you guys have and the civic engagement that's going on in Egg Harbor is really cool. There was a meeting in here right before we left, but creating a culture of sustainability is something that, you know, takes fire soul individuals, and to see them here and to be able to work with them across the state, especially in these smaller communities where you can really see the impact that one city planner or one good city administrator has in terms of rallying public works, rallying civic engagement. So thank you again for your interest in the legacy communities. I hope that we can be of service to you in the future. I hope that you join and leverage the network to the best of your abilities. My contact information is here. I would love to follow up with any and every of you individually. If there are any questions, I'd love to answer.
Let's see if the committee first has some questions, and then we can open it up to the audience. This is all sort of new, and it just seemed to me, even though I've read about it before, but is this like a conglomeration of a bunch of resources, many resources all within your green tier? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
That's
so
the way it is?
yeah, there is an executive committee, and the DNR, we serve as that facilitator. So we are the resource that kind of pushes the agendas forward.
And you said DNR when you first came out. How are you connected to the DNR exactly?
So we're in the Office of Business Support and Sustainability in the larger Bureau of Environmental Analysis. So we're a program. Green Tier is actually a law. Green Tier law was enacted in 2005, and it is the Green Tier program. And so this Green Tier Legacy Communities Charter is a charter which is a kind of contract arrangement of entities.
Okay. And could you give an example? It seems like a lot of the actual hands-on programs are customized to community. Is that right? Or is there a standard template in some cases? Like, for instance, if Egg Harbor would pass a resolution and join, is there, like, can you give an example of how it would affect us, of a program that would work for us?
Sure. So Egg Harbor would pass the resolution and adopt your baseline. And then we have, say, the Energy Task Force then. There are monthly Energy Task Force calls. So you would have somebody who's involved with municipal energy benchmarking or whoever kind of works with your municipal facilities or the utilities, perhaps, and they could just attend that call-in where we can discuss what we've been working on, projects. We're thinking of orchestrating a solar group buy. We've got clusters now geographically. That would be something perhaps you could get on and run with if Door County.
I mean, people in the community could be a mass for their individual homes.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
or for the utility. Yes, it could be community or residential solar.
Okay.
But so you can get involved, and your involvement in the program is however much you make what you put in this program. The requirements, again, are you adopt that resolution, you conduct your baseline assessment so you know where you were when you entered, and then you can kind of track your growth throughout, and then conducting an annual report, and we have templates for that as well. That coupled with quarterly membership meetings, either attending in person or calling in. Those are requirements of the program, and then based off of our kind of membership meetings, we set out work groups. We have the Energy Task Force, we have the Healthy Community Planning Task Force, and those groups are working on projects as well. So it's an open door policy.
And could you give an example or so of the urban forestry? How that, any projects you can explain to us with that?
Sure. So Wisconsin Urban Wood is kind of a great example of urban forestry projects. They've been working with urban ash as well. We've been working on, there's I don't want to butcher it too much, but we work with MREA, Midwest Renewable Energy Associates, and we learned about solar kind of LiDAR graphing of residential areas to see where canopy cover is and talk about the health benefits of an urban canopy. You can quantify that in various different aspects, but you can also map it. You can also prioritize it or see where areas for solar arrays might be. So that's something that we've engaged upon in urban forestry.
I like the way that communities can take responsibility, and we can be the change we want to see, because it's not us, you know.
Absolutely, and we don't try to create work for municipalities or for counties. We try to be a workload alleviator and just really support them in the work that they're already doing and just kind of be more backing.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions, comments on the committee?
Ryan, what's your thought about this?
I like the sounds of it, but I'm always worried about our small staff and, are we putting additional burdens on our staff, and what kind of resources could this program actually lend to us? So the question I would have is that we pass a resolution, which is easy enough to do, but then we get into our baseline analysis, and what is the timing of that, and what's involved? And I heard you mention that there were some environmental engineers that are helping with benchmarking and and I wasn't sure if that was associated with the best baseline analysis, or could it be? So my question is, how much work's involved?
Yeah.
And I understand the benefits, but I want to know
Workload.
what I'm getting our team into with this type.
I absolutely understand. We work with, we've worked with similar size villages. Again, we try not to be viewed as a workload creator, but a workload alleviator, and truly. So once that resolution is adopted, there's plenty of flexibility in conducting the sustainability score sheet baseline assessment. And to be honest, some of that scoring, it's just a list of best management practices. Some of it's arbitrary. If you're not engaged in those, you just give yourself a 0 and say, well, this is where we started, and this is where maybe next year we'll look to, bump up our areas of expertise in this, or engage on that. We provide resources, help with you if you have any questions on adopting that. I can send it to you. It's just an Excel spreadsheet, score sheet, where you can have 3 years listed, and it's just a 0 to 10 scale. And so really, it is just a self-diagnostics, kind of a baseline to know where you started, what you've engaged upon later. Lenient with the time frame on that from the resolution, and then it is a year after your resolution you'll have to conduct your first annual report. We provide templates for that and assistance for that as well, and that really just mimics the Appendix 3 sustainability score sheet baseline that you'll do, saying we engaged in this, we did this, share about something you did this. So workload-wise, the 4 meetings a year, they're usually from 10 to 2 at a different community across the state. You can attend remotely. And we find communities and counties really enjoy that. So from my experience, and I've been the single point of contact here now for 3 years, and I've worked a lot with small villages again. We have no interest in creating work or stresses for a community. We again just want to help our network be stronger from your involvement, and help you as a village or municipality or county leverage the work we've already done and the arrangements we kind of already have in place.
So is this something that, if we did all this and then we got this benchmark that we're supposed to do, is that something like this committee could potentially work with you and staff on instead of having your staff do it?
Yeah.
It sounds like it, and I think that's
Okay.
Absolutely. And I'll just say, if you have, having a Public Works and Parks Committee like this in place, having an Energy and Recycling Committee, if you have things like that in your community already going on, you're head and shoulders ready to be a legacy community. If you're seeing buy-in and folks like this, you know that you have people who care, people who are willing to put the time in. And again, we don't want the burden of this program to be placed on one municipal staff person or one county staff person. It's not a sustainable business model. We really encourage civic engagement, citizen participation, and committees are always welcome. So yeah, the work can definitely be doled out throughout the whole community.
So kind of like how we have our Parks and our Public Arts Initiative that we use as a specialist to reference, we could have something like that to work with in regards to this?
Yeah, and I mean, so we'll give us an example of the baseline. So would we do an energy audit on our wastewater treatment plant and this facility and our other municipal facilities, and just look at the energy consumption and see what type of easy energy savings can be implemented? And
Yeah, so on the baseline, it would honestly, broader strokes. You would
Okay.
say, we're doing this, we're benchmarking this or that, yes or no almost. You're not putting percentages into that. That would be more so an energy task force thing. If you were to delve in, you could work directly with people at the Office of Energy and Innovation. They have great contacts at the utilities, and really that's an area where we've streamlined the process for our municipalities. So if you have a staff person who's benchmarking, your public works garage, your library, your city hall, they can just literally hand over the account to the folks at the Office of Energy Innovation, and then they will track that, monitor it, and keep it running, keep it monitored, so you're continually looking at your aggregate data. So that's something where we've done a nice job of alleviating a workload, and that's just through the partnership existing and through kind of leveraging who you know.
Great. So my only other question would be the same one you gave to Krista. Why would a municipality not want to be part of this charter?
Sure. And so the main concern we hear from folks is that they're afraid of creating workloads for their municipal staff. But otherwise, we found there's no real hard no that we get. It's either lack of will, lack of coordination. There aren't committees in place, and it comes down to one city planner or maybe a city administrator saying, I'm not biting off more than I can chew, yet I would like to do this. We also, there's also the verdict is out on certain things of viewpoints or whatnot. But since 2015, we've experienced almost 50% growth. We've been getting a lot of yes lately, and we're growing rapidly. The value of this network now, it's existed since about 2010. We've really hit our stride now with who we're working with, what arrangements we have in place, and what benefits we can deliver. So a lot more people have been saying yes lately, and our reasons for not, a municipality or villages or counties' reasons for saying no are just kind of per personnel, I would say.
And could, Angela?
So there's the tier 1 and tier 2, these two different business aspects.
Yeah.
So would there be businesses within our community that would be eligible to work with you as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like a minimum or maximum size business you take on?
Well, we have also in the green tier program, or in our office, is the Small Business Environmental Assistance Program. So they work directly with very small businesses. But no, it's a different application process to be a tier 1 or a tier 2 applicant. But we have several communities that have a lot of green tier businesses in their community that are welcome to attend the members meeting. We've done things in previous meetings where we've had panel discussions. We've had green tier businesses come in and speak about what they're doing, how they're engaging their community. We've had kind of panel discussions on opportunities for like composting in Sheboygan, various things like that. So we do foster relationships between business to community, but the tier 1, tier 2 aspect of green tier is more so just for businesses. Good question.
So if a business, would the business go through the village as a conduit or go directly through green tier?
It would go directly through green tier.
Okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't, we have sector specialists who work in various sectors across the state who handle kind of the point-to-point interactions with businesses.
Okay.
So a different process.
You seem well funded.
We've enjoyed bipartisan support in our program since kind of our inception, and we are a green tier law. So that was enacted in '05, and that kind of gives us statutory security in what we do, yes.
So you don't rely on grants for your program to
No.
sustain your program?
No, we don't. Not the green tier program. Legacy Communities is actively, taking on grants to engage on different things, but no, the program will be here.
Great.
Yeah. I will say that this framework, the Green Tier Legacy Communities, is replicated in other states. Minnesota has the Green Step Cities. New Jersey has Sustainable Jersey. We are part of a larger national network, but we're really hitting our stride here in Wisconsin. So it is fun. It's a fun time to be involved in this program. It's fun to come out to different villages, communities, and share the work we're doing. And you talk about the great things we're doing, and then they what's the caveat? And it's really just about what you want to do, what you care to be doing. But thank you all for coming out today and for hearing my presentation.